Okay, let's talk about another wide receiver who is looking to bounce back. We got Michael Thomas. He was seen at Saints OTAs for the first time, I believe, yesterday. He spoke to the media as well. A little cocky. I think he
Yeah,
needs to dial it back a little
I
bit.
agree.
Like, yeah, where have you been,
The buddy
Michael?
played one game in the last 18 years. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, he needs to chill a little bit. But he was like working off to the side with the quarterbacks, which is a good thing. He took a lot of mental reps. I think I saw clips of him helping out some younger receivers. So, um, you know, there is something to take away from that. I think he wants to be there, which I think was a question,
Yeah.
like a legitimate question. He no longer has racist Drew Brees as his quarterback, which is cool, but he has crybaby Derek Carr. So like, did he want to still play there? And it looks like he does. So that's good. He also says he expects to be 100% healthy for day one of training camp, just like everyone's used to. First thing, we're not used to that. Second thing, that's good though. And I really like Michael Thomas. Again, talking dynasty, he's somebody I traded for. I own him maybe in every dynasty league I have, just because people are selling him for pennies on the dollar. He's an awesome buy low pick. He's an awesome sleeper pick for redraft, I think.
Yep.
He's currently getting drafted wide receiver 47 in PPR ADP right now. So very, very low. But I think it's the 2019 season. He had the record breaking year. He had like 185-ish targets. Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And the notion about him then was that he is like the most reliable wide receiver in the NFL, most consistent, yada, 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 slant king. Fast forward a couple of years, and the whole thing about him now is that he is the least trustworthy, least consistent, because we can't trust for him to be on the field. I just don't think he's that far removed from being the guy.
I
So
don't
I think we
either.
need to trust him again.
I don't either, Zach. And I think that year, maybe this is wrong, but in my opinion, that year where he had the record breaking year, I think he won Offensive Player of the Year that year. If not, he was close. I think that receiving core is better than the Saints have now. I mean, for Michael Thomas to come out and say, this year that they have they have the best 1-2-3 punch. Like, I get why he says it. 1-2-3 punch in the NFL. It's crazy. You would tell me Rashid Shaheed is is the best number 3 receiver in the NFL. Like, what are we doing here? But whatever.
Agreed.
I think yes, if you can buy low on Michael Thomas, if you can get him at that, at wide receiver 47, fucking A. If he's on the field, he's soaking up targets. He's going to be that guy. Much easier to get a quarterback kind of antiquated into an offense than with the receiver who has 180 targets and has broke the record for most receptions in a season. I mean, I don't love Michael Thomas, but I love him for wide receiver 47. Also, Trevor, before you go, did you guys see the tweet? It was very funny. I don't know who tweeted it, but someone said Damar Hamlin died and came back to life and is back faster than Michael Thomas.
True. Michael Thomas hurt his toe. Damar Hamlin died, but that's fine.
Yeah, the only downside is I'm seeing now that Ty Summers is on the Saints, and nothing good comes from a team with Ty Summers on it. But I mean, kind of like your guys were saying, like the other wide receivers, James Washington, Keith Kirkwood. I mean, who the hell is that? Traquan Smith, they've been trying to make him a thing since he caught one long touchdown 20 years ago. We know their tight end situation. So, like, there's nothing around him. Like, there's no reason he shouldn't get plenty of targets. Even if he's not the first guy, it shouldn't really matter. And also, wide receiver 47, like, there's no risk there. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head what round that would be. But that's pretty much a flyer at that point, I'd assume.
I think I especially love him, too, if Alvin Kamara gets put in jail.
True. I mean, I think he's still one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So even if there were better players on the Saints, I think it doesn't matter. If he's capable of handling the snaps, he'll get the snaps. But the fact that there aren't very many people there is even better. He is going 106th overall ADP right now, which is behind Zach Charbonnet, behind Antonio Gibson, Khalil Herbert, Jamison Williams, who's suspended, Juju Smith-Schuster.
So that's
he's going just ahead of Rashad Bateman, who I also think's too low, Jamal Williams, Elijah Moore, Geno Smith, Samaje Perine. So
So
Yeah.
ninth-ish round.
Yeah.
If you're
Like, would you rather have him or Samaje Perine?
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ. What are we doing here? Last year, he played 3 games to start the year. He averaged 17 PPR points per game, which is ridiculous. That was wide receiver 9 in a points per game. Obviously, he wouldn't have kept up that that pace because he had 3 touchdowns in 3 games. So I'm not saying he's going to do that. But wide receiver 9 in points per game was right between AJ Brown and DeAndre Hopkins. Let's just say he drops down 4 points. So let's say he averages 13 points per game. That's wide receiver 28, which was Debo, who we just fucking talked about.
Yeah.
So if we're saying a wide receiver 47, if he drops 4 points per game, gets the same production as the wide receiver 16 this year, that currently in ADP, like, of course.
Yep.
Like, to your point, Trevor, he is a no risk, all reward type of player. He's a lottery ticket. You could draft him, I assume, as your wide receiver 4. And I think if he's healthy, he's a solid wide receiver 2.
Yeah, with one upside. Or one potential, I should say.
For sure. Like, then if he gets hurt again, you took him over Samaje Perine. That's fine.
But you're not going to start anyways.
Yeah, and if you do, you lost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the type of player we need to think about right now. So I think we shouldn't discredit Michael Thomas. If he stays healthy throughout training camp, his stock will rise. It just will. He's going to be making plays. He's going to be looking good. But I mean, he started last year. I should look and see what his ADP was last year, because I don't think it was very high last year either. But he started the year. That's because he played the first 3 weeks. That's when he got the 17. In ADP, he was. Oh, whoops. 1 second. Wide receiver 21. That's actually higher than I thought. Just ahead of Allen Robinson. That worked.